I remember the 12th of June, often refers to as June 12th. Now, it's not about one day, it's about a process, it's about believing in something. But there's a lesson for the generation next. If you believe in something, if you seek truth, hold on to it, it might be risky, but never give up. Today, we are vindicated. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the intimate relationship I have with what has been called June 12th. On that fateful day, I went to vote, stood there, had the votes counted, knew the results. I began to call people around the country to get the results from their polling stations because we are all part of an effort to see that Nigeria got democracy working. After the voting was almost all in, being compiled, I left for a conference in the United States. Indeed, Kola Abiola and I met at the airport. He was flying to Europe, I was flying to the United States that night. And I was at that conference, a convention actually, in Boston, when a Ugandan ran up to me and said, you Nigerians, whenever we start getting ready for progress in Africa, you set us back. And I thought, what's he talking about? Well, that's how I heard about the annulment of that election that took place on the 12th of June. I immediately withdrew from the convention floor and went to my room and wrote an article titled, We Must Say Never Again. This country is a country of impunity because enough of us don't say never again. And so, when I wrote that piece, We Must Say Never Again, I faxed it, as we did in those days before emails. I faxed it to The Guardian. It was published in The Guardian, and it started a movement. That movement came to be known as the Concerned Professionals. And many who argued that it was probably the strongest fight back against the military on the annulment of that election. Even NADECO, Concerned Professionals, was part of the backbone of NADECO. And we organized ourselves, professional people who came out from, I was at that time Chief Operating Officer of a multinational company, and people thought I was crazy, but that's about believing in something. I recall even at a dinner at the home of the British High Commissioner at the time, when the now late Alex Ibru, Guardian publisher, said to me, you are still at Volkswagen and you are leading this thing against the government? And I said, you have to believe in something. I even recall a meeting of NECA, the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association. And I recall it so vividly. Engineer Makoju, Joe Makoju, was sitting right next to me. He was an MD of the West African Portland Cement Company, WAPCO. When I urged the leaders of business to say, wrong is wrong. If you don't do right, we all shut down our businesses. Of course, I didn't get much support. Just one person, I think, Dr. Christopher Kolade, of all these chief executives in that room, spoke strongly in support of my point of view. The struggle came to a head when we began to demonstrate as the Concerned Professionals against the annulment of that election. I still remember Chief MQ Abiola calling me in a hotel room in Frankfurt. I was just after he left the country. And how I said to him, you know, a cause is worth dying for. And I came back, and this movement began to garner momentum. The records have it that there were 2 assassination attempts on me by state agents. On one occasion, when we tried to have a meeting of the Concerned Professionals at the Anglican Church in, I think it was Ajele Street in Lagos Island, they brought policemen from another part of the country specifically to confront us. Yes, did we get beaten? Yes. I got beaten again in front of Western House. I remember the Vanguard story about my glasses flying out. 25 years later, the truth has come up. A generation that does not have a sense of conviction to be ready to die for something will stand for nothing. This is the lesson of the 12th of June becoming now the symbol of democracy in our country. I'm glad that I was part of that struggle. Be part of some struggle. So long as it's anchored in the truth, history will vindicate you. The 12th of June is part of our history today.